Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In today's session, I want to continue with our lecture session regarding ERP. Now, we will discuss about the module of material management. As you can see, we use global by case to explain the process within the material management module. You can see, as usual, every module that are part of the ERP SAP ERP courses are every module are given by the SAP as a learning material for us to know what kind of a business process that are happening within the module of the SAP S/4HANA. And in every module, we will learn about the structure of the organizational structure for the material management module and the master data for each module, and at last with the process. Okay, let me go first. So for the organizational structure, a client, I already explained at the beginning at the previous session. Client is actually the company that are becoming client to the SAP. It means the company itself, global by itself. Company code is if the client have such as subsidiary company, etc., then we need to differentiate them using company code. Then plant is for the factory and storage location is for the warehouse where you put the various stock of material. There is also purchasing organization. This is for purchase procurement. So this is used to recognize or to manage the supplier thing. And then purchasing group is key represent the buyer of group buyer who are responsible for certain purchasing activities. Okay, as you can see here for clear explanation, it's like this. The client is Global Bike, company code is Global Bike Inc. Plant is in different cities and they have different storage location. So usually the storage location are differentiated between raw material, semi-finished goods, finished goods, or miscellaneous. And as you can see here, some city doesn't have raw material storage or semi-finished goods storage. Usually this kind of branch city in the city is usually for selling only, so not for producing. So that's why they don't have raw material. And those what raw material and semi-finished good usually is also for producing or operation. Central processing organization, as you can see, they have the same policy in all over the world. This is the client, Global Bike Incorporation. Different company code. There is a US company code, CACC. Yeah, perhaps this is Canada, this is Germany, and this is Australia, perhaps, or Asia. Yeah. And then, this is the same policy for purchasing, although we have a different CC, different company code. We have several storage, perhaps, but the same purchasing policy. For the master data, there are vendor master data. There are several master data, which is really known vendor master data, and also material master data, and also condition master data. So I think from the and also several type. I think from the name itself is already pretty clear, right, about what each master data is functioning later on. First, this one to register the vendor, this one to register all the material necessary. Let's go one by one. So vendor master is contain all the necessary information needed to business with an external supplier. So every vendor must have a master report. So this keep this master data keep all of those vendor information. Okay. There are client level, company code data, purchase organization data. As you can see, several vendor are categorized in a specific purchase organization, usually close by location, etc. So this is the information contained there in vendor master data. And there is also material master data, which is contain information a company need to manage about material. So yes, so different material necessary is keep there. So this kind of data include there. There is also purchasing information record. Basically, when you combine two master data, I mean material and vendor, there will be a purchasing information record. As you can see, perhaps in some material from different vendor, it can have different price, right, or different condition like different discount, etc., etc. So with this, it can be keep the information. Okay. Usually, so with this too, you can have purchasing information record, and you can also produce a purchase order using, when you want to make a purchase order, you can use this one, these two master data. Okay, now we go to the process. The process that are being used is the procure to pay. It means the process from procurement until we pay the vendor itself, the supplier. So first, we ask for purchase requisition, and then vendor selection, purchase order. So this is different, right? Purchase requisition is only asking, while purchase order, we already decide that we want to buy. And then notify vendor, vendor shipment, good receipt, invoice receipt, and payment to vendor. I think this is pretty simple to understand. It's clear, but we want to also know the more detailed processes. Okay, we start with purchase requisition. So internal document instructing the purchase department to request a specific good. So this is basically this is about our company ask the price or the information regarding some material that we want to buy. Requisition sourcing. Okay, this is also okay. The source of the requisition, it can have a different type of sourcing. I mean, where we can buy, there are different type of sourcing. First, internal sourcing required. Okay, there are several type of sourcing. First, internal sourcing. The requisition for material could be satisfied by source within our company. So if different warehouse still have the material needed, then we can source them from those warehouse within our company, although it's different location than us, rather than buy a new one from our vendor. This is possible. Or we can go to the source list. Okay, source list is a record that specifies the allowed mean for procuring material for a certain plan within given time period. So there is already a list of a vendor that can work with to provide material that we want to procure. There is also outline agreement. We can perhaps, what is the difference is that when this is the short list, there is only a list. Then we still need to engage with them and then make agreement with them. However, online agreement means that there is already a long-term agreement. If we can check whether we still have agreement with some company, and then if we have those agreement, then we can directly ask them. Perhaps it will be linear in the term of perhaps some kind of there will be some kind of a discount, or perhaps it is possible to buy by credit, etc., etc. So basically what we need to do is that we first request for quotation, right? So purchase requirement, we generate request for quotation. So perhaps there are several different type of vendor, different vendor, not sorry, no, more than one vendor that we can ask, and each of them will answer and give us quotation for the price of the product and their availability, etc., etc. And then using this information that we can get from different vendor, we will evaluate and we will decide which one we want to buy to by creating purchase order, and which one that we don't want to work with by creating reject letter. So quotation from vendor, the quotation received by company is likely pending offer. So the quotation we ask quotation from the vendor, and vendor will send us a quotation. This is actually, although it doesn't mean that we want to buy, but at least the price that presented by them should be a final price. Yeah, maybe not so final, but actually this is already a correct price. Vendor evaluation once identified, okay, there will be there might be several criteria that can be used to evaluate a vendor, such as the price, the quality of the goods, and the delivery performance, etc., etc., and whether they are good or not. The system can give some weight in each of them, and then we can calculate which one based on the priority. So perhaps our company took priority more on the price, then the weight for the price will be higher than the other, etc., etc. And then it will determine, the system will determine and calculate which vendor is which vendor that is the best one. Okay. And then after we decide which vendor, then we can do purchase order. Okay. This is the example of how creating purchase order. The structure, it will be like this. So purchase order structure will be about header in the beginning, and then the item overview, and then line of item. So this is, there is a price here. This is the detail. So this is basically information regarding the vendor. I think we can get this from the vendor master data, while the other, this is from material master data, etc. So at the purchase order output, so when we want to create purchase order, there are several ways of doing it. We can be using the manual way, printed, or email, send it directly through email from electronic data interface, or perhaps from fax or SML through web. It is also possible. So there are variety of form that I can purchase. This is some kind of a form that help support the purchase order. So okay, after we receive purchase, or after we create purchase order, we notify vendor, right? Notify vendor, and then vendor will prepare, basically they will make the item, or if they already have, then they directly ship them to us. And then after that, after the shipment came to our warehouse, and we already checked that the material that we want already arrived in our arrive at our warehouse, then there will be a good receipt. This good receipt is basically as a proof that the ownership of the good itself is already transferred, meaning that it's already arrived. It's no longer my responsibility from the side of the supplier. Now it's yours. So this is good receipt. Good movement in which we accept good into our system. So there will be material movement, as you can see here, movement of material. There are codes. So basically it's similar to when you check, when you deliver a packet to your relative or your friend in different cities. Perhaps you will receive some receipt when you firstly go to the delivery point, and then by using this code, you can check the position of your package, whether it's already arrived or still in somewhere along the route of the delivery. Then you can check. Effect of good receipt. could receive movement for the receipt could take place in series of weekend. So this is what happened in could receive when material document is created, etc., etc. Basically like that. So this could receive will update several things, like material document is created, accounting document is created, basically like that. If we already receive could receive, the material came to our house, we need to create the material document. Accounting document is also created because accounting document state the value in money for those material. Stock quantities are updated because there is an increase of stock. Stock value updated because increase, yeah, it still each of them has value, and the value, stock value updated, purchase order is updated, etc. At the end, then income voice are reference against a purchase order to verify that, okay, now after we receive the material, the vendor will likely send invoice to us, right? Basically, after we purchase order and then the material are delivered and then good receipt are made, then basically we will expect to receive invoice, and then we need to pay. So invoice processing, basically when an invoice is saved, it applies the liability from good receipt of our purchase to vendor. So purchase order is updated, material master is updated, accounting document is created. Even once the invoice has been posted, the verification process is completed and payment process is initiated. Okay, then it will become payment to vendor. Okay, let's go first to the process. Okay, now this is about the process. So this is process for material management. As you can see here, there are relationship between the material management and also the vendor. Basically, the process will be like this. First, usually there is an option whether this vendor that we want to work with is a new one or not, right? If it's new one, we basically need to register them. So create new vendor, create material based on the information. So if it's a new one, if the vendor is a new one, then we need to register them. We need to ask information from them, and then we need to register them. Create new vendor, create material master for trading good, extend material master. So basically we want to keep information about this vendor and what kind of material that they provide. Then after that we will update the material master data, and then we are ready for, and also the vendor master data, and then we are ready for purchase requisition. So if it's not, then we directly go to the purchase requisition. We already discussed. So create purchase requisition and then create request for quotation. There will be a request for a quotation, right? And we send them this RFQ to the vendor. As you can see here, there is a new information in the activity. It means parallel multi-instant. It means that there are many vendors that are being sent by us, being sent RFQs, and then this many vendor will receive at the same time, and then they can start generate quotation based on that. Usually there is also possible that the vendor will meet with a representative of our procurement function, and then there will be some negotiation in there. Then after we make a deal, then there will be a quotation generated. So basically many vendor will also provide this quotation, and then we will receive those quotations, and then we maintain quotation. Yes, perhaps the quotation is not in the because this is from different type of vendor. Perhaps the format of document is not synchronized with our, therefore we can put them into our system, those quotation, and then so that they have the same format, and then we evaluate quotation from this vendor. So the evaluation can goes to have a different option. If it's a yes, if it's no, then we reject. If it's yes, then we create and display the purchase order. We create the purchase order. Okay. After you create the purchase order, we notify vendor. Vendor will receive the purchase order from us, and they will do production, and then they will ship. Shipping, well, they ship the material to us. We will receive the goods along with some good receipt. Okay, then we will create a good receipt using this. It means that the warehouse, the product, the material is already in our warehouse, and then using this group, after we create this group, the good receipt, we will receive some invoice. Okay, they will create and make and send invoice. We will receive invoice, and then we'll create receipt invoice from vendor. Okay, we create receipt invoice from vendor. We can create receipt invoice from vendor because, yeah, the same, perhaps the invoice from vendor is not the same format. Then we can put them into our system. So there will be a invoice document, and then we pay. This is update the general ledger custom master database, and then we pay. Then vendor receive payment, we update, we post payment to vendor, we update in the system that we said that we already paid, and then we can check this account balance in display GL, so to know whether yes, it's already a difference between the previous one and after we before we procure the material, then after we procure and the material. Yeah, basically that is the process. So let's check again from the, yeah. So this is the payment of the vendor. Payment to vendor, we pay them, can be done automatically or manually. So basically, but after that, we need to, yeah, this is the way of doing it. As you can see, there are some kind of information, purchase requisition and purchase order. We already talked in the beginning, we create this. It will have no impact on financial accounting. It means that when we create this, there will be no difference in here because actually this is only a purchase order. Only after we receive, we create good receipt, it means that we already have the material, then it will update, including the finance. Because what now we have increased stock of material. However, we have less cash usually because we need to pay them. But we still have value. We have increased value in inventory or stock. That's kind of thing. So invoice received means amount owed is assigned and transferred to vendor account payable. So basically, we pay them according to the receipt. So there is a movement of cash in here. So from bank to the vendor, there will be a movement, right? So like this. So good receipt, invoice receipt, payment program. There are several steps. So it's movement from now. Our inventory, basically after we receive good receipt, our inventory will increase, but the cash is reduced. That is for the material management module. I hope it's a clear one for you, and we will meet again at the other module. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.